Spa-Francorchamps for the second round of the 2020 European Le Mans Series, which is set to be a highly impressive race with a bumper 40-car grid. Last month in Le Castellet, United Autosports dominated in LMP2 and LMP3 with cars number 32 and number 2. In GTE, it was car number 77 from Proton Competition that took the top step of the podium. The other title contenders came away from the French opening round disappointed, knowing they had to fight back.
United Autosports shone at Paul Ricard with 2 cars on the podium. Reigning champions IDEC Sport had an electrical failure that ruled them out of contention, while Panis Racing and Graf also left France disappointed.
When you have only 5 races during a season, and if you have a DNF at one race, you know that the championship is not yet over, but more or less. So we'll do the best straight away this weekend to have the best result as we can. And after we'll see, we'll fight till the end to catch the gap we have compared to United or G-Drive. And we'll fight until the end, for sure until the end, but it will be difficult to fight for the championship.
We've had our fair share of bad luck, but I also believe, you've got to create your own luck. So, we need to just keep making good decisions, and eventually things will start to fall our way. So let's hope that we can start this weekend.
It happened to IDEC and Panis Barthez. So we are not the only one, and now we have to take the victory.
Track, I would say Suzuka in Japan, and street track, I would say Macau. Wow. It's a recent one, Casa del Papel. And I cannot get away with it. It's Le Mans 24 Hours in 2013, together with Alan McNish and Tom Christensen. I don't know how you say it in English, but I would say the blanquette de veau from my mother. Honda HSV Super GT in Japan, the Peugeot 908 in 2010 in Le Mans, and the R18 e-tron Quattro Le Mans 2013. Rédillon, Spa-Francorchamps. I would say the secret. I think it's the way they turn it, and going into a positive attitude and stuff like that was quite nice to read, and it changed your mind a little bit. That's not easy, huh? But I would say Nicolas Lapierre. But I had plenty really good ones, huh? And the one I wish for, and I will be happy, Felipe Albuquerque. When you just cut the grass, at home, and you smell it. I mean, for me, it looks good and it smells good. And I'm not saying that because I like to be in the grass with a race car. Sunday, most of the time it's race time, so Sunday. Top Gun. Yeah. It's not really. Rocket Man. That's cool. I like the word. Favorite joke? Actually, I really like when someone is sleeping on the back of my car to ham the brakes and to scream like crazy. That's pretty cool. I love the face of the guy when he wakes up.
In the LMGTE class, last year's runners-up, the number 77 Proton Porsche, leads the title race. But nothing is ever certain in this ultra-competitive category, and they will be all too well aware that Ferrari is out for revenge, with the 55 Spirit of race car and the number 60 Iron Lynx high among the potential rivals.
Definitely a non-finish in the first round of a 5-round championship has put us on the back foot, so we just have to knuckle down now for the rest of the season. In Spa, it's a very demanding track on both the car and the driver. We love it as drivers, one of the best circuits in the world. I think everyone you'll speak to will say the same. We have fantastic weather here, so it's really a joy to be here, but from our point of view you have to focus heavily on the race, try to get our championship back on track, and that's the plan.
It's not easy this season in our class because there are some very fast cars, and especially mix of the drivers. We are bronze, silver, gold, so our bronze is going to drive in for 2 stints. I think that quite soon we will be able to be in the fight for the podium, so let's see, because it's not so easy to make previews before the races, so at the end it's always the track that is giving the final reply.
At the top of the LMP3 tree after round 1, the number 2 car from United Autosports, and into Europol competition's number 13. Looking to make up for lost ground, last year's champions DKR Engineering and Nielsen Racing, a regular ELMS entry.
You know, we were close to a win here last year. I lost the lead sort of 1 sector from the end, so it would be nice to repeat that, but we're still working with the new car and getting it ready, and it's a bit quicker. We've got the new engine, so you know, we're just working on setup.
Obviously it's my first year, so I was not expecting to be P1 at the end of the year. Of course I hope to be. I think we have also the pace. Everyone can have a DNF, so I'm still optimistic. I really like Spa, so I'm looking into it.
Le Rouge and Le Raidillon is an iconic combination in motorsports history. In the European Le Mans Series, LMP2, LMP3 and GTE cars will not be approaching it in the same manner. We spoke to the leaders of the 3 championships to tell us more.
Whatever the car, the engineers will tell you that their machines can be driven flat out through a Rouge and Raidillon. But behind the wheel, it's a slightly different story, whether you're a pro or a gentleman driver.
The feeling through a Rouge and Raidillon is incredible. Like it's a roller coaster and you're driving it yourself. We go through there with 275 kilometers an hour, which is incredibly quick.
The setup gives them the ability to do it, but equally they have to do it. So, you know, from the driver's point of view, for them it's a focus to do what they need to do to go fast and go flat, but equally from the car point of view it's not quite as challenging. The corner is so close to being flat in both cars, you know, even with a P3 car the bronze guys are having a lift, but it truly is just a lift.
miss the line, then it's easy to turn in maybe a fraction late and you can have some big moments on the way through, or if you turn in early then you have to release the throttle, which costs you a lot of time down the Camel Straight. So there is only one option.
Being flat in Eau Rouge is all about the trust that you have in the car. It's incredibly hard to do, and it's like every lap is a challenge.
Obviously you have a lot of grip because of the compression, but you also have to have the right line. So if you have the right line, you can do it flat. And it's actually easier, I would say, to do it flat than lifting because you keep the aero balance down. If you lift, the car has a tendency to move more.
It's potentially a little scary, especially on full tanks and on used tyres. You know, the car moves around a lot. You just have to adapt to the level of grip you have.
In quali we are flat, in the race we sometimes have to lift, but it's very exciting. Yeah, every lap is a challenge, and every time you hold your breath and you're like, is it going to work? And yeah, hopefully you end up on top in one piece.
It's race day here in Spa-Francorchamps, and just like in Le Castellet, it's United Autosports who have pole position in LMP2 with car number 22 and LMP3 with car number 2. And in GTE, it's car number 93 from Proton Competition that clinched the pole. There are 40 cars on the grid. It's going to be a scorcher. Let's go racing.
Forward, 5-1, first lap. Radio check, loud and clear, loud and clear. And is ready to receive you on the grid.
I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gon' stop. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I was born from the bottom, but raised to the top. I'ma keep on climbing, I ain't gon' stop.
For Michael, it will be the first start and a new experience for him. I mean, it's just to get used to all the new scenarios, new season, different cars, and now he's in the front, and I'm looking forward. Now the road changed a little bit, so now I'm not a coach anymore, I'm a teammate, so we have to discuss about the settings, the different experience and all those things. So actually I'm really proud of him.
Much better, really, to be honest. The Castellet was perfect. This weekend it's going really well. We got pole in qualifying by a bit of a margin, so fingers crossed we can continue that for the race. It's going to be tough. You know, we've raced in the high temperatures before, so we sort of know what the car is going to do. It's going to get quite oversteery, and obviously United Autosports will give us a good setup to be able to do that.
Pole position, I think it's more for the ego of the driver. Obviously, I'm super happy about it. But the race is long, 4 hours, and I think as well is the beauty of motorsport, and as well, especially in endurance, which with overtaking, with this heat, it's hard on the tires. In Le Castellet, we were surprised in the last 30 minutes, but we definitely don't want to be surprised here.
Kindly invite the mechanics with an armband to go to the gate.
all set for race 2 in the 2020 European Le Mans Series here at Spa-Francorchamps. Phil Hansen for United Autosports, teammate Will Owen alongside him.
We have started the 4 hours of Spa.
A United Autosports lockout in LMP2, United on pole in LMP3 as well, and will they control the first corner? They do. Mikkel Jensen for G-Drive starting third, looking inside Will Owen in the 32 United car. It's 3 and 4 wide further back, but everybody is through La Source. Now they stream down through Eau Rouge and the climb up Rédillon. Paul Lafargue for IDEC Sport up to 5th. 3 wide behind Antonin Borger for Cool Racing gaining spots. Anthony Davidson, the blue and yellow Jota Sport car, looking for 3rd. Inside Mikkel Jensen, that's a great pass. And Davidson up from 5th to 3rd. Lots of position changes in LMP2. Take a look again at the start. Ryan Cullen's Dragon Speed car missing from 6th on the grid. They had a fuel issue, so he will be trying to start from the pit lane, and everybody neatly through. On board in the G-Drive car with Mikkel Jensen. The Dane trying to get 2nd, but Will Owen with more drive on the outside. And in GTE, look at that. What a great view. On board with Duncan Cameron, the Spirit of Race Ferrari. There's a little touch there. Leader across the line. United Autosports 1-2, and Davidson in 4th, but not able to escape. Right behind, down the inside, Jonathan Hershey passing Henning Enqvist for 7th. Oh, trouble here. This is at Les Combes. Manuela Gosner in the Iron Lynx Ferrari. Oh, looks like it might have been contact.
Drive-through penalty, car number 66 for causing a contact with another car.
LMP3 battle for 8th. Martin Hipper into Europol, diving to the inside of Jacopo Barato, and Tommy Erdos just in front of him. Fantastic racing action all the way through the LMP2, LMP3 and GTE fields, and Martin Hipper squeezes by. On board with Will Owen, and he is now down into 3rd place. That's the G-Drive car in front of us. There they are, leader just cresting the rise. Oh, super fast through Eau Rouge and over the top of Rédillon, and then a long haul up the hill, using the slipstream of the GTE car in front. And then hard on the brakes at Les Combes. Fabulous weather here at Spa-Francorchamps as well. Christian Ried, Proton competition, late lunge on Michał Brączewski. This is for 2nd. Through he goes. That's a great pass on the Kessel Racing Ferrari, but he comes back at him. Wheel to wheel, Ferrari versus Porsche into Eau Rouge. Who's giving way? The Ferrari does. And that's going to cost him a place on the exit as well, because here comes Francois Perraudot, one of our World Endurance Championship regulars. Couldn't get by there because of the prototype coming past, but he's going to have another stab at the top of the hill. Looking inside, no, not enough momentum there. But Broniszewski out-braking himself and just about clinging on. Here in replay, this is for Luis San Juan, the Spaniard in the Graf Racing number 5 car. Oh, and didn't hear any contact there. Replay here, this is Martin Hipper up to La Source on the inside of Jacopo Barato, who tries to turn in even though the green and yellow car is already there. Little bit of contact. Luis San Juan heading into the pits in the number 5 Graf car. That will have spooked him, no doubt. They've got a new nose ready just in case. Didn't look like there was much damage, but at these speeds, take no chances. Replay here at La Source. Francois Perraudot dives to the inside of Michał Broniszewski, and through he goes for 3rd. Oh, trouble there. That's the LMP3 into Europol car. That's Martin Hipper buried in the tyres. Well, what happens here? It's a 3-way battle. He's chasing Rob Hodes, who locks up under braking, and Hipper's got nowhere to go. On board with Martin, that's Rob Hodes right in front. Esteban Garcia ahead of him for real-time racing. Down the hill they come. and the Nielsen car locks up.
We are under safety car. We are under safety car.
Too early for fuel stops, but Rodrigo Sales having the damage repaired after he made contact with the Iron Lynx Ferrari.
Are you okay, Martin? Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm stuck.
Heading back into the pits, Rob Hodes. Puncture after that contact with the Inter-Europol car of Martin Hipper, losing the tyre carcass just as he gets to the pit lane. Well, that is going to ruin both their races, I'm afraid. Always a tough break when you end up in the barriers because of somebody else's mistake. Everybody has to wear a mask, they said. So we are getting ready to restart now. Here's the leaders.
Track is back to green, no overtaking before the line.
Philip Hansen for United Autosports ahead of Mikkel Jensen in the G-Drive car. And in third place still Will Owen in the United Autosports number 32. Across the line we come. Mikkel Jensen having a little look, more in hope than anticipation, I think. Big group of LMP2 cars still together, but a great run through Eau Rouge gives Mikkel Jensen the slipstream over Redillon and up the Kemmel Straight. He's trying to break the toe. That was some wicked weaving there. Mikkel Jensen, the new race leader. And the Algarve Pro machine makes up a spot as well. 24 car Henning Enqvist. Again on board, take a look at this. What a run he had there through Eau Rouge and over the top of Redillon. The team loving that. Back in GTE, here's the battle for second. The Proton competition Porsche Christian Ried ahead of Francois Perrodo in the mainly white Ferrari and Mikhail Bronzewski. Oh, Alexandre Cuno. Cars stop much better if you're on the tarmac, not the grass. Mikkel Jensen pulling away from Phil Hansen. And look at that gap grow from 1 second to 4.3 in 3 laps. The Dane is on an absolute flyer, and G-Driver are very familiar with winning in European Le Mans Series. LMP2 battle for 11th, Tatiana Calderon, the Colombian driver for Rich Emil, down the inside of Henning Enqvist. Algarve Pro driver coming back at her, and the yellow and green car, Jakub Śmiechowski, wondering how this is going to end side by side. Whoa, brave stuff from Tatiana Calderon. And here comes Jakub Śmiechowski. He's going the long way around the outside. Ryan Cullen in the black and stars Dragon Speed car, a lap down after starting late, goes by both of them. Fantastic stuff. Śmiechowski also gets by Henning Enqvist. Oh, Ferrari off, and that is Claudio Schiavone in the Iron Lynx car. He crashed on the way from the pits to the dummy grid in the Michelin Le Mans Cup race, trying to weave heat into the tyres. What happened here? On board with Will Owen, United Autosports. Goes outside, goes inside the Ferrari, there's contact. Well, he survived, the Ferrari didn't.
Stop and go penalty on car 32 for causing a collision with car 60.
Claudio Schiavone left with nowhere to go there, I'm afraid. He was trying to allow the United Autosports car room on the left. Into the pits, the race leader, Mikkel Jensen, just approaching the 1 hour mark. Battle under braking, shaping up here. Will Owen trying to find a way back past Ant Davidson. That'll be for third in LMP2. The Jota Sport car in third spot. Will Owen in fourth. Up at the bus stop, and Davidson trying to fight back. Will Owen has sneaked in front though. So change of position, the 32 car back up to third at the line.
Leader to slow down, we are under safety car.
Unfortunately, we found a fuel issue before the formation lap started, so yeah, the guys did a super quick job of getting into the fuel cell and getting to the bottom of the problem and fixing it, but unfortunately that meant we had to start from the pit lane, and yeah, with the rules the way they are, if you start from the pit lane you have to wait until all the other cars have completed one full lap, so yeah, on the back foot from the beginning. We're just trying to keep out of trouble.
It has not been a good weekend at Spa for Claudio Schiavone, but luckily he's okay.
Yellow flags are being replaced by green flags. No overtaking before the line.
The field thoroughly mixed up. LMP2, LMP3 and LMGTE cars all jumbled up together. Look at the blue and yellow Ant Davidson, the Jota Sport car. Here's the leader across the line, G-Drive. Mikkel Jensen still out front. And then the United cars second and third. The 16 LMP3 car in between them, BHK Motorsport machine riding on board, charging down the hill. And going by the DKR engineering car. It's the car that started from pole, Phil Hansen's number 22 car, but here comes Ant Davidson. Got a really good run there as the United car was slightly balked by the slower LMP3 machine. He's trying to go the long way round the outside. Antonin Borger, cool racing as well. Oh my goodness me. That's the 37 car on the inside. He goes by Anthony Davidson, and here comes Jonathan Hershey. Dive bombs Davidson as well. Wow. Christian Reed in the pit lane exits the 77 Proton competition car, making way for Alessio Picciariello. And Paul Dall'Anna hands over to Matthias Lauda, the 98 Aston. Spin here for real-time racing's Esteban Garcia. No harm done, it seems, apart from the tyres, obviously. Back to the battle for third, pulling out the slipstream. Jonathan Hershey goes a long way around the outside at Lecombe. Great move. Right behind the 37 car. That is Antonin Borger in the cool racing entry. And Ant Davidson not too far behind in 38 for Jota Sport either. This is epic racing. Second place battle in GTE, and getting held up there, Francois Perrodo had just passed Marcel Gomez for second, loses the place back. And Davidson on the attack up the Kemmel Straight, in his sights Antonin Borger, this is for fourth place. Up the inside comes the Jota Sport car, nicks the spot away from Cool Racing. Trouble at La Source, and it's Esteban Garcia's real-time car again. Now, did he jump or was he pushed? Riding on board with RLR M Sport. This is James Dayson. Oh, well, there's your answer.
Drive-through penalty car number 1515 for causing a collision at T1 with car 8.
And more trouble for James Dayson. Starting to climb the hill here. Back end breaks away. And look at that, cars going everywhere in avoidance. GT leader Alessio Picciariello, the Belgian 7 seconds ahead of Manuel Gomez in the Kessel Racing Ferrari. Pit stop at Proton, Michael Fassbender, you just saw, handing over the 9th place car to Richard Leitz. Fassbender starting this race, his first time taking a start in the LMS. That's a big day for any driver. Real-time racing car of Esteban Garcia in traffic. Julien Canal, the Panis racing car, has got by and has fueled back, queuing up to try and do the same. Graf racing car behind as well, busy times. Busy times in the pit lane too. United Autosports, Philip Hansen is out, Felipe Albuquerque taking over. 32 car now in the pits for United. Job van Uitert taking over there from Will Owen. There's the young Dutchman. And there is Roman Rusinov ready to take over at G-Drive. So this is his teammate Mikkel Jensen coming in at the end of his double stint. Nearly 2 hours of racing done here. So Roman Rusinov in, approaching the midway point. Gap now 5.5 seconds between Roman Rusinov for G-Drive and Felipe Albuquerque for United Autosports. This is the battle for 9th in LMP2. Algarve Pro on the outside. Simon Trummer goes around Dennis Anderson's high-class machine and has to use the runoff area because he carried in too much speed. Yellow and green car is Matevos Isakayan, not too far behind. And here, diving through on the inside of the Dane, and he picks up 10th position. Replay here of contact. Francois Perraudot on the outside, on the inside Michel Gatting. Tom Gamble taking over the LMP3 lead, number 2 United Autosport car. And here, replay at the bus stop chicane. Felipe Albuquerque has caught and passes Roman Rusinov for the lead for United. Up the Kemmel Straight, Michel Gatting trying again, sends it. And she moves up to 4th place ahead of Francois Perraudot. 98 Aston in the GTE class, and behind, the battle for second in LMP3. See United Autosport car of Tom Gamble chasing down the hill. It's James Dayson's RLR M Sport car in front. Gamble's got a good run on him. The Aston is going to be nearly as quick up the hill though, so this could produce a problem. Tom Gamble pulls out nice and early, boxing James Dayson in, or trying to, behind the Aston. Is there room? There is. That's a good pass for second. Great racing everywhere you look here. Let's hear now from G-Drive's Mikkel Jensen.
It was a hard time out there because of the safety cars. We are faster than Hansen, so it's a shame that we were held back from the safety cars all the time. And yeah, he was lifting in a rouge on the first lap. I kept it flat and got past. So yeah, now it's interesting to see what Roman can do to stay close to Felipe, because Hansen is not a problem at the end as long as the gap is not too big.
Battle for 4th in GTE. Here comes Manu Collard. He's taken over from Francois Perraudot, the AF Corsa car. They'll race in World Endurance next week here. And side by side with Duncan Cameron, very nearly contact, just ahead of the real-time racing car, who squeezes through on the curbs. David Perel leading the South African, had a good race onto the podium in Michelin Le Mans Cup the day before, just ahead of Michele Beretta, who's taken over at Proton Competition. And that's trouble for Francesco Castellacci, another World Endurance Championship regular team. They're out of 3rd at the bottom of the hill. Climbing to Kemmel Straight. Matavos Isakayan for Inter Europol, trying to go inside. Alexandre Coigny hits him. Oh, you do not need damage on a high-speed circuit like this.
Drive through cars 34 for a contact with cars 37 at T5.
Francesco Castellacci has stopped again.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, full course yellow.
Alexandre Coigny in for fuel and a rear end change. Luckily the full course yellow limits the damage in terms of time.
Full course yellow removed, track is back to green.
And a change for the lead at the background on the right-hand side of your picture. Felipe Albuquerque jumped away immediately at the restart to get ahead of Mikkel Jensen, who was the race leader. So G-Drive down to 2nd, superb restarting from the United Autosports driver. Watch in the background. As soon as the green is signified, you can go. You don't have to wait to cross the line. And Albuquerque was superb. Well, the skies are darkening overhead. It looks like there may be thunderstorms. Will we get rain? Well, what we've got is fantastic battles everywhere. Felipe Laza from Brazil battling with Matt Griffin, the Spirit of Race Ferrari, just with its nose in front. And the Proton Competition Porsche, started by Michael Fassbender, just squeezes in front into a rouge. Climb through the left of Rédillon and up this super steep Kemmel Straight. It is straight, but when you walk up it, it feels near vertical. Battle for 3rd, Manu Collard behind Paul Dallalana. Somebody's gone off in front. James Dayson, RLR M Sport. You heard that before you saw it, didn't you? Under braking. And turns in as he's still changing down. Loses the rear. Alex Brundle, whoa, 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 whoa. Paul Dallalana trying to go left and leave him the inside line. Paul Dallalana still being attacked here. This is Manu Collard going by, and these two drivers and teams will be battling each other in World Endurance a week from now. Now trying to get by the JMW Motorsport Ferrari. Dennis Anderson for High Class Racing. And chance. That's Colin Noble. Anderson trying to get himself out of the hole he dug. Just about does. Tom Gamble leading LMP3 with just over an hour to go. But will rain stop play or interfere with it? We'll have to wait and see how this goes. Nielsen in second, RLR in third. On board with Mikkel Jensen back in the G-Drive car in second place. Taking over from Roman Rusinov. And he is chasing United Autosport's Felipe Albuquerque. Both teams watching intently. Going to be a classic battle here to the flag, you sense, don't you? Alex Brundle passes Nico Jamin. Panis Racing car was in fifth. The Brit, 30. How can baby Brundle be 30? It's his birthday weekend. And he moves up into the top 5. That's the GTE leader, Michele Beretta, Proton Competition Porsche, facing the wrong way. What happened? Oh my goodness! He was facing the wrong way as he came up Redion. I'm sure the engineers will reassure him it is flat. Lead battle. Mikkel Jensen now trying to go the long way round Felipe Albuquerque. He gets by him using the toe. And the G-Drive car is back in front. Excellent work. Again, using the speed of the Auris through Eau Rouge to start the move off. And that was just past that spinning Porsche. Maybe Felipe had to have a little lift beforehand.
The track is now declared a wet track.
Well, it'll be wet in places, thunder overhead and rain coming, and Mikkel Jensen is off. The race leader has gone off and he's in the barriers. Oh my goodness me. Charging down the hill on a dry track. Oh, does he suddenly find moisture? It looks like he did. He's going to drag what's left of the car back to the pits, or try to. Has he got steering though? I'm not sure he does. The team think it's all over. They might be right.
Full course yellow, full course yellow.
Yep, Mikkel Jensen walks away from the battered G-Drive car. Will Stevens taking over to finish the race at Panis Racing.
Full course yellow removed, full course yellow removed.
Here is our race leader then, Phil Hansen in the 22 United Autosports car. And United stayed on slick tyres through that brief shower. New slicks going on. And that was a good call. Alex Brundle under pressure from Richard Bradley at La Source. Bradley on the inside for IDEC Sport, grabbing 7th place as Brundle runs out very wide indeed. Uses the momentum to try and come back at him. Oh, and boxes his rival in behind the Porsche, and they just squeeze through. Goodness me, that was heart in the mouth stuff, especially for the Porsche driver. Richard Bradley trying to fight back for IDEC. Of course, United had both their cars on the podium in P2 last time out. IDEC had a very disappointing weekend in Le Castellet. He goes the long way round the outside. Now Brundle tries to make room to get out from behind the DKR Engineering LMP3 car, but can't. Richard Bradley uses traffic this time. Battle for third in LMP2, getting held up by the JMW car. Roberto Gonzalez for Jota, and past goes Thomas Laurent. He moves up to third. And the 31 Panis car of Will Stevens looking for a place here too. Meanwhile, race leader is Phil Hansen, nearly a minute and a half ahead of Duquesne's Tristan Gomendi, but they owe us a stop. In the pits, Phil Hansen, fuel only, splash and go, and that big lead will definitely help. Here's this battle for third place in LMP2 again in replay. Will Stevens a long way round the outside, and Roberto Gonzalez inside of Thomas Laurent. And there's trouble. That is Rob Hodes for Nielsen.
One, full course yellow, full course yellow.
And full course yellow means almost free pit stops. Thomas Laurent in, Will Stevens in to Graf and to Panis Racing. Their rivals going so slowly, they lose very little time. Felipe Albuquerque watching from the pit wall with United.
Full course yellow has been removed.
And Phil Hansen, the race leader, get back up to speed. Final stop for Tristan Gomedy for Duquesne. Number 30 car was in second. How much will they hang on to? Trouble for David Drew, the number 8 real-time racing car. There's another one that's had lots of drama. That's at the bus stop. Trying to get into the pits. And he gets in on foot. Nicolas Lapierre and Roberto Gonzalez, the Jota Sport car with the Cool Racing driver manager, going a long way around the outside of Bruxelles. That was the change for 8th. Here's the battle for 2nd. Will Stevens all over the back of Thomas Laurent. The Graf Racing driver, red, white and blue. 31, Will Stevens for Panis Racing. And the ex-Grand Prix ace desperately looking for a way by. Time is running out fast. Inside the final 10 minutes. Around the outside of Bruxelles, you need confidence, you need grip there. Doesn't, oh, he does have the overlap, but somehow, oh, it was close. Laurent at the end of his tyre life, and Will Stevens, heart in the mouth moment for him, but he'll know that he's got to keep pressing, because Laurent surely can't hang on for long. Goodness me, that could have been high drama there though. Tristan Gomedy closing in behind. That's bad news for Will Stevens. Take a look again. Oh, how did Thomas Laurent save that? Goodness me. Yay. You're not kidding. Will Stevens looking to the inside of Thomas Laurent. Tristan Gomedy is right there now. Will Stevens in the middle, Thomas Laurent, the red, white and blue, just clinging on to second place. 2 of these 3 cars will be on the podium. And as the clock ticks down, Phil Hansen will have to do one more lap. Got to the line with 11 seconds of the 4 hours remaining. It is the final, the 100th lap of the race. And here comes the battle for 2nd and 3rd and 4th. Who's going to end up on top? Well, Tristan Gomedy, as Thomas Laurent very nearly stops dead there. Tristan Gomedy at the back of this queue has the best opportunity. Will Stevens, if he makes a move and doesn't come off, could lose a podium spot. Another lock-up from Laurent in the Graf Racing car. Will Stevens all over the back of him, but it's going to be 3 wide. Oh, Tristan Gomedy makes room for himself, goes by Will Stevens, shuts the door on Will Stevens. Last lap of the race, Thomas Laurent somehow still bobbles through Eau Rouge, but surely without the momentum of the others. No, he did. He just didn't care that he didn't have tyre grip. He's desperate, flashing at the Spirit of Race Ferrari in front. Get out of the way, I want to finish in 2nd. Hunter killer mode now for Duquesne Engineering's number 30 car. And few more Hunter killer when they can smell a result than Tristan Gomedy. That's for 2nd. Meanwhile, Phil Hansen is at the bus stop for the final time. United Autosports will make it a 2nd win. 32-1 in Le Castellet. 22 is victorious here at Spa. And the Cool Racing car doesn't want to do another lap. First win of the season for Felipe Albuquerque and Philip Hansen. Who is going to be 2nd? Incredibly, it seems Thomas Laurent's going to hold on. Tristan Gomedy spins out in the Duquesne car, avoids contact, but that allows Will Stevens to come through for 2nd, for 3rd, because Thomas Laurent came across the line in 2nd. United winning in LMP3 as well. Rob Weldon and Tom Gamble with team boss Richard Dean celebrate victory as Wayne Boyd takes the checkered flag to win in LMP3, the 2nd weekend in a row. And victory for Kessel Racing, David Perel winning in GTE in the Ferrari. They were 2nd in Le Castellet, and that will move them into the championship lead. Confirmation of the result, United the winners, Graf second after their disappointment in France, Panis Racing's first podium since Portimao in 2018. IDEC Sport do score points but only in 7th. United win in LMP3, second for Nielsen, and Euro International, the reigning champions, dropping out. Kessel Racing ahead of 2 Pro-Am cars, meaning the points for ELMS, second and third go to Proton and Spirit of Race, and a race to forget for G-Drive and for Inter-Europol competition, both retired. Disappointment for some, jubilation for others. Felipe Albuquerque and Philip Hansen scored their 3rd consecutive win in Spa.
Spa has always been good to us. I mean, we've won here 3 years in a row. I love this place for that. It was an eventful race with the rain, and the team did an excellent job. We made all the right calls at all the right moments. We lost a little bit of the lead at the start just to tie warm up in the safety car, but the whole race was so managed by the team. We had the pace in the car. It was just a question of just managing the race and making sure we didn't make any mistakes.
United Autosports are having some start to the season. 22 leads from 32, and the leader 22 points already ahead of Graf Racing, who move up to 3rd ahead of G-Drive with that DNF. And where are the reigning champions, IDEC Sport? They have just 6 points. It looks like their title defence will not be successful. LMGCE victory going to Kessel Racing's Ferrari, with David Perel taking the flag.
Yeah, it wasn't as smooth sailing as we would have liked. Michael had a bit of a tough start, dropped back a bit, but we told him just to remain calm, which he did. No mistakes. And then Gomez, it's his first time in ELMS, also did a great middle stint. Very happy, first win in ELMS, and yeah, big thanks to Kessel.
So 2 major milestones for Kessel Racing, their first European Le Mans Series win for the 74 car, which now takes the points lead from the 2 Proton competition Porsches. The Iron Dames in 4th, with AF Corsa in 5th spot. United's LMP3 mechanics applaud Wayne Boyd as he heads to Parc Fermé. 2 races, 2 poles, 2 wins. That's quite some habit they're developing.
Unbelievable, to be fair. I have to give full credit to Rob and Tom at the end there. I've just sort of jumped in as a formality, to be honest. These boys done the hard work, but again, another fantastic job by all the boys at United. Our car was just absolutely unreal, so it made our job very easy.
Championship looking very good for United and their 3 British drivers, with 2 poles and 2 wins. Euro International a point ahead of Graf in the runners-up positions. RLR M Sport in 4th as Euro Interpol's DNF drops them down to 5th. As in Le Castellet, just the winners of each class on the podium, and United Autosports red, white and blue dominant as they win in LMP2 and LMP3. Kessel Racing coming out on top in GTE. That's it from a crazy Spa-Francorchamps. Next time out, the 29th of August, we return to Le Castellet as the Barcelona event has had to be replaced due to the pandemic situation in Catalonia. Best overtakes as ever here at Spa, so many to choose from, but let's narrow it down. First, Christian Ried diving out of the toe into La Source. Dive bombing Michael Brzezinski, but the pole with better momentum takes the battle all the way down to Eau Rouge, side by side, into one of the world's most fearsome corners. Whew. Classic stuff at Spa. Next up, Nico Lapierre playing a cat and mouse game with Roberto Gonzalez at Bruxelles. Feints to the inside, races around the outside. And the final move, the final lap of the race, battle for second place in LMP2. Tristan Gobbedy at the back of this queue, chasing down Thomas Laurent and Will Stevens. Gets a good drive out of La Source alongside Will Stevens with a touch, and then squeezes in down into Eau Rouge. Fantastic edge of the seat racing in LMP2. Made your choice, go to the ELMS Facebook official page and vote.
South of France, Le Castellet. And now the red lights are out. They're off the smoke as they turn in. At the back of Sebastian Paget is